Yesterday there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane.
Hey guys, it's Hannah Olson here, and I am excited and ready to share a big old life update with you today. I feel like it's been forever since I've done something like this. I don't even know if I have done a video like this, but I really enjoy watching others share their life updates, and boy is it time for me to share a lot of updates with you. I know I've been here and there, kind of off and on YouTube and Instagram throughout the summer. I've shared videos about homeschooling and even a day in our life, that kind of thing, but I haven't really sat down to do a big update or really shared everything in one place. So that is what today's video is about. Also, I apologize if you can hear the kids. I don't know if you can. I know I can hear them because I'm their mom and I know that they are not sleeping currently, but I'm still gonna sit down and film this update. We're doing a slightly earlier nap time today because we're needed for some farm rides through the harvest season here, and so we shifted nap time slightly and they're not as tired as they usually are. But anyway, let's start with a life update at the start of 2022. So due to my husband's job, we live in two locations actually, and you might have heard me share about this kind of thing before. And what that means is we live in an apartment 2 hours from home, from this home in southern Minnesota. We live in an apartment 2 hours away from January through May, and then the rest of the year we are back down here. I always say down. I know we're pretty north for a lot of the states, obviously, but we're back down here for the rest of the year. And we have learned to really embrace and enjoy living in both locations. It's always an exercise in contentment for me and flexibility because I am a homebody. I love to be in one place, but this is how our family has worked it out because we choose to live together as a family. So we are in two locations throughout the year, and that is how 2022 started for us. So from January through May this year, we were in the Twin Cities. We were living in an apartment. And we had lots of fun things wrapping up the academic year. Sophie was in Awana in the Cubbies program. That's a Christian Wednesday night program. And then we were also, all three of us, the kids and myself, were in a Bible study in the mornings during the week. And that was also really fun. It's called BSF, Bible Study Fellowship. Sorry, I was trying to think of what it was. We never call it that. It's just BSF to us. And that's just very similar to a Bible study we do down here in southern Minnesota, and so I always try, for consistency's sake, to sign the kids up for maybe similar things to make the academic year feel more smooth for them. And Sophie and I were also in Irish dance, so we wrapped that up at the end of the academic year, but we did have a big performance over St. Patrick's Day weekend, which was so much fun. It was such a dream come true for me, not only to do it, but to get to be on stage with Sophie, and they introduced those people who were in families together on the stage, and so Sophie and I got to run up and wave at everyone. So it was really, really fun. Such a dream and such a fun hobby to have started this past year. We started last fall, so fall 2021. So then at the end of May or in early June, I don't totally remember at this point, we moved back down here. And when I say moved back down here, I actually mean this house. This is our new house. And we had actually purchased this house last fall. So in November 2021, we had bought this new house, and I had gotten right to work painting the bedrooms, the rooms that I wanted to paint in November and December. But then, of course, due to us living 2 hours away in an apartment for the next 5 months, starting in January, that puts a pause on moving, the whole moving situation, and also just plain the settling in and organizing and sorting. So that has been a huge part of this summer. We've done tons of organizing, sorting, kind of digging ourselves out of heaps of moving things because we did not hire a moving company. We only moved 35 minutes of a drive away from our place where we lived before that you've seen in past videos and vlogs and stuff. But since it was only a 35-minute drive away, what we had done ever since we purchased the house is just brought over our pickup truck or our van back and forth, filled with all the things that we could find to move, anything that we could just bring with us and load up. So obviously that makes it a little more chaotic feeling of a moving situation. It's fine because that was the wise choice for us. That was the arrangement that worked best for us. But it meant it was not a moving situation in which we had boxes labeled kitchen or kids bedroom, stuff like that. It was just a little more boxes and boxes of things, and then you have to make all those decisions I felt like I had decision fatigue at the start of the summer, because when you're pulling things out of a box and trying to assess what room it goes in, it's a lot. But it was the wise decision for us. It was the smart arrangement, because we didn't want to hire a moving company, of course, and we just moved in shifts, in little bits and pieces, and that's how it went. And that has involved a lot of the organizing and sorting of this summer, especially early summer, like the month of June especially. This summer has also involved a lot of DIY projects. I'm not a huge DIYer myself, but I love doing things like, I've learned that I love doing things like refinishing furniture. So we had 2 dressers in our bedroom back at our old place that we brought over because they were sturdy and lovely, and I still liked them. I just did not like the color or the style of them, but we still wanted to keep them. So I stained one dark and I painted one black, and I especially love the black one. It's so pretty. And we've done projects like, I've painted all of the kitchen chairs that we found. We found 4 for $20. I painted them black to go with our circle black kitchen table for this new house. And oh, I just recently painted the kitchen white. So it had these kind of honey oak, just brown cabinets that didn't totally even match the light brown floor. So I definitely wanted a white kitchen, and it just has looked so pretty and airy. But that was a more recent project. So besides all of our moving in and sorting and organizing and painting furniture outside on the driveway, all those things, we have another life update, and I will insert a picture right here for you in case you missed it. That's right, I am pregnant. We are expecting our 3rd child, due in March 2023, actually due on St. Patrick's Day, and we are so excited. We're so excited to have a 3rd precious child in our family. And it's so funny because we know Sophie so well, we know Soren so well, and it's always mind-boggling to me that there is another person who God has planned for us to have in our family whom we have not met yet, and who will be the perfect fit for our family. And I think that is such a gift, and it still feels surreal. And I know this is the case for many pregnant women, but it feels surreal, and it feels both like it took forever to get here and like this all passed in the blink of an eye. I will be 17 weeks tomorrow, and tomorrow is October 7th. So I'll be 17 weeks tomorrow, which is crazy. And I'm so grateful and glad to be at this point, because first trimester is just always rough, and I do feel like I'm starting to get more energy. I feel like a lot of days I'm still kind of hoping and waiting and wishing for that energy. We're not totally there yet, but really in pregnancy, when am I ever really running around like crazy? I don't know. I usually am a pretty high energy person in terms of productivity during the day and wanting to get things done. So the first trimester is always hard for me, because I loathe sitting on the couch all day or laying on the couch all day, but that is essentially what August looked like for us. So I think we found out I was pregnant around the end of July, and then Bjorn had his annual training for Army, and this year it was almost an entire month. It was 3.5 weeks, and he would be out of town, you know, gone overnight, totally out of town for Army for basically the whole month of August. And we had known this, but then it just kind of changed everything to find out that I would be spending much of the first trimester, or at least the more hard weeks, solo parenting. So I truly am so glad to be at this point. A lot of August was spent, you know, on the couch with the kids. I did a lot of reading, actually, which is funny. I felt like I did so much reading of physical books, and I did love that part. I loved the cuddling and snuggling and reading books with my kids too. And we watched a lot of shows, you know, we laid on the couch and cuddled together because that's what mama could handle. And we survived and we did it. And things, we always have to remember as moms that things are just for a season, and it can feel really hopeless in the moment sometimes, or at least you could just find yourself getting discouraged. But I'm grateful to be at this point, and yes, August was hard, and yes, we were very grateful and glad to see Bjorn walk through the door again at the end of that month. So with this baby being due in March, it is a totally different feel than what we're used to with our kids' birthdays, because Sophie, who will be turning 5 soon. Her birthday's in October, and Soren will be turning 3 soon. His birthday's in November, so we're very used to fall birthdays around here for the kids, which is fine. I mean, it doesn't really matter what time of the year someone is born in. But what that means with our family's unique schedule is that I won't be able to deliver at our home hospital, our home, doctor's clinic that I love and trust so much. And so that has been a sadness for me. I have really I've had a lot of feelings, as one does when they are pregnant, but I've had to really just trust that God's timing is perfect and that it will obviously be okay delivering in the Twin Cities, where there are, larger hospitals and many hospitals and hospitals nearby, close to our apartment even, because Soren was born so fast. We almost didn't make it to the hospital on time. But anyway, I am just mourning the fact a little bit that I can't have my OBGYN, who I trust so much. He was the one who delivered Soren as well. So for now, I've continued to go see my current OBGYN, the one I had when I had Soren, and I'll continue to see him until the time comes for me to kind of transition and get established over closer to our apartment, of course, because I will be delivering near our apartment, because from January through May we will be living at the apartment, and March is right in the middle of that. So I'm mourning that fact. Bjorn always reminds me to just trust, and I know it'll be totally fine. I think maybe some of you other moms can understand and relate to the feeling of just not being able to deliver with your favorite and trusted doctor. I know it'll be just fine. I know I'm a third-time mom, but I am sad about that fact. And while we're talking about all sorts of feelings right now, another thing I have had to come to terms with, and this might sound silly unless you too have found a hobby that you totally love and enjoy and suddenly don't want to give up. And for me, that's Irish dance. And so I have had to kind of cope with the fact that I'm not going to do Irish dance. It's not really prudent for me to be leaping around, or easy for me to be leaping around right now and doing that kind of a workout. Also, Irish dance is in the Twin Cities. Now, last fall, I did drive the kids and myself up to the Twin Cities for our Irish dance. We made kind of a short weekend of it because I used to have Irish dance on Thursday nights and Sophie's was Saturday mornings. And so what we could do is my mom would watch the kids for me at the apartment while I had Irish dance Thursday nights. We would be there at the apartment for Friday, and then we would do Sophie's class on Saturday mornings and then come back home. And that's what we did last fall. I do kind of plan or hope to do that little arrangement next fall, so in 2023, but obviously that is a long time from now and we'll have to see how life goes. So I am sad that I'm not doing Irish dance this year, and again, I know it sounds like a little minor thing, and it is in the grand scheme of things. Obviously it's such a joy and a gift to have a new child in our family, but I am just feeling, I don't know what the word is, I guess it's just sad that I can't really be doing it this academic year, and that's fine. And I do plan to jump in hopefully next fall. I do plan to also sign Sophie up in probably January so that she can she's been asking to be in Irish dance and wondering why we're not doing it this fall, and it would just be too much at this point. I decided to have us kind of continue to settle in here, and with kind of early pregnancy and moving into the second trimester now, I just thought, let's just kind of be home and really settle in here at this house. But I do plan to sign her up in January, and then she'll get to do hopefully the St. Patrick's Day show, or at least some other shows around that time. I've also always had my newborns to just cuddle with all winter long, inside here in Minnesota in the winter, while blizzards rage outside, you're just cuddling a newborn, and that has been so fun. But I'm so interested, I'm eager to see what it's like to have a newborn kind of towards the end of like spring and early summer, and bring our third child around with us to all the summer adventures and outside playtime. I think it'll be really a sweet time for our family, and I just plan on taking it 1 month at a time and keeping us in good routines and rhythms as much as possible. Other things going on for us this fall have been that Bible study I mentioned before. We're actually not in BSF because it's not in our town, but we are in CBS, which is another 3-letter acronym very similar to the other Bible study. So if you've ever heard of BSF or CBS, Community Bible Study, definitely check them out. It's just a wonderful way to connect with others and also to study God's Word. And it truly is studying God's Word. You're not studying other books and studies, that someone else has written about God's Word. It's truly looking at the Bible. And I love that part of it. I love the children's program and how structured it is. So we've been in CBS this fall. This must be our 3rd year of doing CBS, I think, and we just love it so much. So we've been doing that this fall. So Sophie is also in Cubbies, the Cubbies program of Awana, which is like their preschool level program. I guess I never really talked about how the first trimester went, besides the fact that I laid on the couch a lot. Basically, all it was for me was feeling quite sick to my stomach and then laying on the couch and dozing off and falling asleep. I was just so exhausted, and that's all very typical. I am truly grateful that I was not like physically sick over and over again, like what happens for some women. That happened with me. I did get sick with Sophie, not as much with Soren, although it's that all-day feeling of I just got off of a boat, or I just got, it's like that motion sickness feeling, and trying not to get sick all throughout the day and night. For me, in this 3rd pregnancy, it was like after 3 p.m. every day, it got worse. It was like 3 p.m. on, I felt so nauseous. And so that's what I was dealing with, just not feeling good. Had a lot of Jolly Ranchers and drank a lot of ice water and did a lot of laying down. And the kids did great. We just kind of got through that season. But I have a lot of sympathy for moms who are like physically so sick, and my heart goes out to you if that has been you or if it is you right now. I'm so sorry. It is hard. I think there's so much about pregnancy and motherhood that truly is hard, and I sympathize with you on that. And I'm glad to be past that point, and that is why we've been able to settle more into a good homeschool routine and rhythm at this point of the school year. So we started our school year this year actually after Labor Day, and I know that many homeschool families start well before that point, but with me not feeling good for all of August especially, and I had done planning, I had ordered some books and things that we needed, but then truly starting the school year did not happen for us until September. I do have a good number of videos about homeschooling if you are actually curious to see like all of our books that we have and our curriculum that we've chosen, and just even our routines and how we work it into our day. We are doing preschool this year with Soren. So Soren will be 3 in November, and he's just been wanting to do school alongside Sophie. So we are doing a more casual form of preschool for him this year. He has his own math workbook that he loves, and then just reading lots of books and doing other educational activities with him has been so much fun. And Sophie, we're calling this her 2nd year of pre-K because I'm not truly technically having her start kindergarten until next year, but we are really solidifying concepts and skills and just really enjoying continuing to learn and getting in that good learning routine and habit. And with the kids being so young, we're not doing hours and hours of schooling each day, unless you count so much of the day could be considered homeschooling, right? The cooking and all the playtime, outside play. There's so much that involves like measuring and counting and playing and imagining and reading. But if you truly are counting like academic workbook work and sit down work, for us it's about an hour that we do total, and that does include some reading as well. So we've really enjoyed kind of getting into a good rhythm with our homeschooling time for preschool and pre-K this year, and I'm excited to continue it as we go to the apartment and things like that, because it's quite portable what we have. It's a lot of books, it's pretty book heavy, but we have a bookshelf, which you might have seen in past videos at the apartment, that we keep all of our school books, and so it'll be pretty easy to throw everything into a laundry hamper or a box or something and get it up to the apartment when we move towards the end of December. With it being October, today is October 6th, we are entering that harvest season here in rural southern Minnesota. It is starting to really pick up and ramp up. My father-in-law is busy, my husband is busy, all the local farmers are busy, and everyone's watching their crops to make sure that they are ready. And if they're not, they're doing other things like getting combines and tractors tuned up and fixed. And we are going to start harvesting our field before long. Bjorn independently farms as well, but he also farms with his father. Did I say his father-in-law earlier? I meant my father-in-law. So it is that time of year, and this time of year I always have to remember that once again, it's something that is just for a season, because I feel like we don't see Bjorn a lot, but then we do see him at random times. He might be needing a meal or a ride to and from a certain field or a certain tractor or combine, but it's just one of those seasons that's very busy. But then in the blink of an eye, it'll be over and it'll be the holiday season. We have some fun holiday plans to look forward to this year. And then before we know it, we'll be up at the apartment. I am struggling a little bit to know how to do nesting this time around, which sounds funny because it's like you don't have to think about it. You'll just start feeling nesty and then you'll start nesting. But for me, I'm not feeling very, is it nesty? I'm not feeling like nesting, which just means, you know, all of the baby prep, all the meals, all the baby clothes and getting everything situated. Obviously, I'm not feeling that way very much at 17 weeks, but we are moving to our apartment, which is where we'll bring the baby home from the hospital at the end of December. And so it's like I have to almost ramp up or get myself to feel like nesting a little bit early. So that's kind of weird, but I want to be ready for the baby, and I don't want to be rushing around or trying to drive back down to this house constantly, you know, in the winter to try to make sure I have everything that I need for the new baby. So I have some thinking to do, some planning, and probably some list making to do. I did start yesterday washing some baby clothes that we have had in storage. No, we don't know the gender yet, but we will be figuring out our baby. We'll find out our baby's gender probably in a few weeks. I don't know if it'll be still in October that we'll find out, because harvest time and life is so busy, or we'll just have to work it in, I guess, when when we feel it's the best time. But I will be probably sharing that as well. I'm a planner, and so I don't really, as tempting as it is having one boy and one girl, I don't really feel like having it be a surprise. We have some good baby names that we have been tossing around, and some that we've really been serious about in the past, and then ended up not using. So I'm excited to really plan out all of that as well. I was checking my list here to make sure I didn't forget anything. I might have. There's a chance I have forgotten some life update, and I'm sorry if I have, but I'm pretty sure this covers all the major bases. But we just had a birthday party for Sophie last weekend, because she's turning 5 in less than 2 weeks, and we like to celebrate her birthday a little earlier because harvest season is really heavy and busy in October. So we just kind of scoot the birthday party a couple weeks before her birthday usually. And we can't believe we'll have a 5-year-old. A 5-year-old sounds so much older than a 4-year-old. A 4-year-old to me still sounds like you have a toddler almost, you know, a little 3-year-old, a little 4-year-old, that kind of thing. But then a 5-year-old is really into the elementary years in my mind. And so, oh man, half a decade. But that sure went by fast, and we are so grateful for Sophie in our life. And before we know it, in November, Soren will be turning 3. Sophie wanted an ocean themed birthday party this year, and Soren has been asking for a construction truck birthday party. And Sophie loved her under the sea birthday that we had, and it was a really sweet day of celebrating with our family. And Sophie's other little life update is she has lost her first tooth. It was one of her bottom front teeth, which is so crazy to me. I Googled it because I thought there's no way you can lose a tooth this early. But I don't even know what website I was on, but they said they can lose their first tooth between age 4 and age 8, and they're really not too concerned about when that happens. And so, yeah, I guess she's almost 5, and so she lost her first tooth. The tooth fairy came. She was so excited and proud, and honestly, loose teeth freak me out a little bit. I'm one of those people. And so I'm glad that it just happened when she was like chewing or eating a lollipop, and Bjorn kind of saw what happened, and we dealt with it, and she was so excited, and I got the tooth bagged up, and I'll put it in like her keeping drawer or something.
asunder. I know we're going somewhere, into the danger zone. It all points right to that. I set myself aside.
So I think that covers all of our major, or at least chatty, life updates. I hope it was kind of fun for you to sit down and feel like hopefully feel like you're chatting with a friend over a cup of coffee or something. I wish I could sit down with you and sit at a coffee shop and just catch up about life, where I could hear about your life and not just me talking all about mine, but this is kind of the way YouTube works. I am just excited about so much that has been going on in our life. Of course, I'm apprehensive about some different things and how they'll work out, but I am trusting God, and we'll take it one day at a time, and we have so much to be grateful for. And it's beautiful fall weather right now, which always brightens everyone's spirits, and I hope you are having a good month of October so far. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more videos. Make sure you follow me on Instagram over at Hannah B. Olson, because I share a lot more day-to-day, daily life things over there. So again, thank you so much for watching. Hope you're having a great day, and I will see you in my next one. Yesterday there was sun.